How to read anyone instantly. 15 psychological tips. If there's one superpower all of us would love to have, it would be the ability to read people's minds. While that isn't physically possible, because science hasn't gotten that far, several nonverbal cues and gestures are a pretty good indicator of what's going on in a person's mind. So, if you're looking to improve your intuition, and you want to be able to observe the subtle hints people drop with their movements, you're in for a ride. Welcome to Just a Thought. Here are 15 psychological tips to read anyone instantly. But before we continue, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Just a Thought, and hit the bell icon for notifications so you never miss an update. Let's begin. Number 15. Paralanguage. It's easy to lie with nods, but only master manipulators can pull off deception when it comes off to body language. Psychologists claim that words portray only a part of one's message. Several other nonverbal cues express the rest. For this reason, it's essential to pay close attention to a person's gestures, facial expressions, and the subtle hints you get from their paralanguage. Most of the clues you gain from analyzing one's paralanguage are unconscious actions one does. You can deny what's on your mind, but you can't stop your body from screaming it in other ways. Number 14. Eye contact. You can tell a lot about a person from the way they make eye contact with you. If someone seems to be avoiding eye contact, chances are they're trying to find an escape from the conversation. It could also symbol nervousness or anxiety, but contrarily, if a person looks at you in the eye while speaking, it most likely symbolizes confidence. They're sure of themselves and they know what to say and how to say it. It also depicts that they're interested in the conversation at hand and are paying close attention to what you're saying. Number 13. Handshake. Shaking hands is often the standard greeting way in various cultures. However, the way one shakes hands is also a powerful depiction of their personality and state of mind. Shaking hands firmly can indicate warmth and willingness to talk, whereas shaking hands loosely often means that the individual is either uninterested or is looking for a way out of the conversation before it begins. The handshake duration is also crucial to note. Handshakes that last long mean the person is enthusiastic, although if it's too long, it could come off as creepy. Number 12. Posture. Posture can convey a wealth of information about a person, their feelings at a particular moment, and hints about their personality characteristics, including their confidence levels, openness, and how submissive they are. If a person usually sits up straight or walks with firm shoulders, it signals that they are focused and paying attention to their surroundings. It also shows that they're confident in themselves and are willing to face the world head on. On the other hand, a poor posture, usually indicated with slouching shoulders or walking around with eyes on the ground, means that they aren't sure of themselves and hope to avoid social interaction unless required. Number 11. Smile. They say eyes are the window to the soul, and surprisingly, they're also a super efficient indicator of the sincerity of one's smile. Unfortunately, as sad as it sounds, most of us fake smiles all the time. We need to maintain a smiling face to get through the day, but how many of those smiles are honest? If you want to know whether a person's smile is wholehearted, pay attention to their eyes. When a person genuinely smiles, their eyes crinkle at the very end, an expression commonly called smizing. A fake smile is limited to the mouth, and you can tell from the person's eyes that they're forcing it. Number 10. Nodding. In general, nodding indicates agreement, right? However, the frequency and the speed can hide a whole different story. A slow nod is typically a sign of interest or a polite fake signal. Alternatively, a quick one could mean impatience with the speaker or eagerness to show one's efficiency. According to Richard Petty's research, a psychologist from Ohio State University, shaking our head can influence what we think about something. When we nod yes, we tend to agree with what we're hearing. So next time you see someone over-enthusiastically shaking their head, consider it an affirmation of their agreement with you. Number 9. Rubbing hands. Usually when you see someone rubbing their hands, you'd assume they're anticipating something to come and are excited about it. Humans use self-rubbing gestures to cope with pressure, although that is primarily a form of positive stress. Clasping and squeezing hands together is a self-pacifying gesture, But if you can catch someone doing it in excess, it could also mean that they're suffering from anxiety. They may be nervous while talking to you, or they could be doubtful about themselves. They could also be hiding something, so pay attention to people's hands while they're talking. Number 8. What they say. This one is pretty self-evident, but what a person says about their friends, family, co-workers, and other people in their lives reflects the kind of person they are towards others. If you find someone constantly backbiting or talking negatively about others, chances are they're not pleasant to be around. If a person generally has good things to say about everyone around them, they're likely to be an amiable presence for others. Number 7. Shoes. Surprisingly, the shoes you wear regularly can reveal personal characteristics and what you do daily. As controversial as it sounds, you can judge the age, income, and attachment anxiety from a person's shoes. Researchers at the University of Kansas reveal that people could predict strangers' personality traits with a 90% accuracy solely based on their shoes. A man who owns a pair of loafers knows his way up the professional ladder, and if you see someone wearing a wingtip, chances are the wearer knows how to lead teams and handle situations with a set mind. Number 6. Side glance. A sideways glance is an interesting nonverbal cue that can communicate a wide range of things depending on the context. Sometimes, a person repeatedly glancing sideways means that they aren't excited or attentive about the conversation they're having. But combine that with slightly raised eyebrows or a smile, and it turns into a signal frequently used by women to flirt in the dating world. Number 5. Eyebrows. Like handshaking, raising brows is one of those expressions that all cultures are familiar with to an extent. Most commonly, the signal's purpose is to draw another person's attention to the face so that other signs can be exchanged. It can be a fun, effective means of flirting. It can also work as a hello signal from a long distance to acknowledge someone unconsciously. Simultaneously, raised eyebrows can indicate surprise, and the higher the raise, the more the surprise. However, lowered eyebrows usually symbolize annoyance and are often perceived to be a sign of a dominant person. Number 4. Holding the baby. This one will astonish you the most, but the way a young mother holds her baby can say a lot about her subconscious state of mind. Many experts believe that mothers who have babies in the left hand are generally happier and more at ease with life. On the other hand, mothers who use the right arm for their babies could be depressed or unsatisfied with life. As controversial as it sounds, there's plenty of anecdotal evidence to believe that there could be some truth to this bizarre observation. Number 3. Leaning in or away. The way an individual moves their body away from or towards you during a conversation can portray many unsaid suggestions about what's on their mind. If you find someone pointing their body away from you, best believe they're not engaged in the conversation and may even signify a lack of respect. In such cases, your safest bet is to get to the conclusion and spare them the misery. But if you observe someone leaning in during a conversation, it's safe to assume that they're attentive and they're trying their best to maintain equal participation. Number 2. Overall appearance. We're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but that doesn't stop us from judging each other by our appearances. It may be an issue at times, but humans often resort to the judgment of physical looks as a means of a defense mechanism. After all, what else do we even know about a person the first time we meet? Using facial clues about one's height to gauge their leadership abilities or inferring one's aggressiveness based on the facial structure can prove advantageous. Keeping our cognitive biases aside, sometimes looks can indicate things about an individual's health. Take wrinkles, for example. A relatively young person with wrinkles possibly hints at heart problems. And number 1, copying body language. Generally referred to as mirroring, unconsciously copying someone's body language is a proof of good rapport between two people. We often pick up on small traits and quirks of our significant others, close friends, or family members who spend a lot of time with us. The process happens without either of us being aware, and only when we stop to observe do we realize how synchronized we've become. Studies suggest that by matching the body language, you subconsciously stimulate a person's trustworthiness. So next time you catch your best friend saying the same thing as you, consider it a blessing. And that's a wrap for 15 psychological tips to read anyone instantly. Which one of these did you find the most helpful? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Just a Thought for more videos like this. See you in the next one.